Greetings and salutations, dear viewers. As usual, we're running a little bit late, but we're here! And starting in things. You know, when I started doing Frägment Friday, I said, I'm gonna make this show on time, and I'm gonna do it every day.
Not every day. That's not
Well,
Friday.
I'm gonna be on time every time. And we saw how that turned out. $1.11 in from Duang of Justice, who says, Greetings, President and Madame President. Naka, who's your favorite Joe star, and what's your opinion on Jonathan? Get to that in a minute, Duang. I apologize because I'll probably forget about it.
I think I disconnected. Yeah,
Well.
I disconnected on the home screen.
Well.
That bodes well for tonight.
So, to everybody out there, welcome to Frägment Friday. This is where I, alongside Madam Berry, typically stream .hack Frägment. This is a really cool time because I get to play alongside all of you. It's an online game, so you can actually set it up and play alongside me if you like. You can log in, join with us. The server, you'll see, will be in the lower right-hand corner. We're playing on Peach Boot, which is my own server.
Peach Boot.
So, not only is it fun for me to play, it's fun for me to play because I get to play alongside all of you. On top of that, I get to chat with all of you in the comments. As a heads up, though, if you put the @Nakate thing before what you say, it'll be a lot more likely that I see it, because a lot of text is going to go by quick, and I'm not always going to get the chance to read it.
Don't spam it, though.
Yeah.
Spamming's bad.
Always. Still doesn't guarantee I'm going to see it, but it does make it more likely. On top of that, we're also, as you may have guessed from Duang, accepting donations. Now, not only are we accepting donations, but the highest donator of the evening gets to add a keyword to the server, and thanks to our friends at the Fragments of Silicon podcast, we've managed to get a key to a game called Cubicity, which I believe we had the developer of that on the show just last week, or something of the sort. So before we get started, I want to show everybody real quick a trailer to that, so you can have some vague idea what you're even donating for. So, here is Cubicity. So there we are, that is Cubicity. And the high donator of the evening is going to be getting themselves a copy of that game. So without further ado, let's start this crap up proper! I tried to put a little, scrolling text bar in the lower right corner to say as much as that the highest tip of the evening gets a copy of Cubicity. $1.12 in from Kaiser, who says, Sup Naka Berry. There's no comma or anything in there, so it's like it's one person whose name is Nakaberry.
I don't know of any Nakaberries.
A bit of a low donate today, given that I had to drop a good amount earlier this week, but I do hope everything goes okay. And as always, Butt Naka Eternal, it's Om Naka. And sorry to hear about the financial issue there. We wish you the best. So with that said, let's go ahead and start up what we can. Ah! The new PS2 did arrive in the mail, so I'm running on new hardware.
And it doesn't make terrifying noises.
It's also, the TV's still a little loud. Let's turn that down a little.
It doesn't go "Arr" when you start it. I was gonna do that for as short as time as possible, but then you kind of just went.
$5 in from Kuma, who says, smaller donation this week as y'all's date mate jam game, Everything Tickles Y, was the beneficiary of my other $5.
Thank you for that.
Inspired by real events. So, which of you is the ticklish one? I bet Naka.
No, it's me.
She's super ticklish.
I'm unreasonably ticklish, like to the point where if you just go, "Hey, what's up?" and pat me on the shoulder, I'll flinch. Not because you pat it, like not because it hurt, because it tickled.
And then $1.13 right after that in from Itinerant Soldier, who says, "Sup Naka, here's to another great week of Frägment, and I hope you the best for the week." Duang says, did you read my thing? Duang asks who my favorite Joestar was and what's my opinion on Jonathan. I think my favorite Joestar, honestly, is probably Jotaro. Like, I know that's a super typical answer, but, like, I like how no-nonsense he was. Like, he's just gonna show up and get the crap done. He's gonna punch a dude in the face, and he's gonna do it as efficiently as possible. And then what's my opinion on Jonathan? Jonathan, I do believe, is Season 1. Like, Arc 1, Series 1. That's the word I was looking for. Series 1 JoJo. I liked Jonathan. Because, like, he was still, like, just as much like, I'm just gonna punch a guy and do what I gotta do to get through the day. But he was, like, that super honorable, gentlemanly kind of guy. He was alright, too. Admittedly, I think his soft external, or his soft emotion thing, wasn't quite fitting for, like, how massive he was, and I think Jotaro at least, like, fits a little better in that regard. But, booting up the server. Peach boot!
Peach boot!
Okay, so I gotta put everything up front so I can tell what's going on. Oh man, Wham beat you.
I gotta get on!
Gotta hurry up and get on! Gotta hurry up and get on! Oh no, you lost it!
No! Alright. Have fun.
Man! I wait till the last second for a reason. You're supposed to be ready. I didn't look to see.
Why did you not confirm this with me?
I don't know, I figured you were sitting there ready because I was talking for a really long time.
Yeah, you were talking for so long, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna disconnect as soon as I get in, I'm gonna reboot.
Alright, well, I guess we got Wham and Rain.
Alright, well, have fun.
Wham says, no, Barry! No! Y'all are quick!
You gotta confirm with me that I'm ready.
What does someone do if they would like to donate a game? Message me here on Twitch. And, like, just send me the code, send me the game, send me everything you gotta send me, and, I'll see how quickly I can get to it. Alright, meanwhile, us! Okay, Rain is super low level, so you're probably gonna want to stay back, but Wham can probably solo everything. So, Rain, just hold back. I know I'm sorry. Okay, you know what, guys? Okay, we'll run like one dungeon through since y'all are both here anyway. And then I may have to kindly ask somebody to step out so Barry can hop in.
It's okay. I've already shut everything down.
Oh, man. Give me a big sad lip.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, but I'm already gone.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Yeah.
Gone. Don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
Not that big a deal. Trying to make me feel bad and then...
What of it?
Just trying to make me feel bad to make me feel bad. That's mean. Okay, I don't know what level I am. I think we could take a 15. I'll go a little lower than 15. Go 13. Oh, somebody was going to log off, but then I warped somewhere. But then you've already shut everything down anyway.
I'm gone.
Something kittens.
Kittens. I want kittens.
Oh man, it's my favorite dungeon!
Oh man! Oh, I missed it.
Yeah, I love this one.
Oh, there's a chest right there. I didn't
Oh.
know that could happen.
Yeah, this is my favorite this is my favorite field.
Oh, I missed it.
Hmm?
Oh, I missed it.
But you already shut everything down and left. You can't try to make me feel bad when you're
I wasn't
already
gonna
like...
get this one anyway.
Can't be doing that to me.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, physically you can, it's just very mean. Rain, you can keep all the things.
All the things.
All of them. I'm not using them, I'm just gonna sell everything.
You should buy me a new weapon.
What
Because I
is...
keep disconnecting.
What is my favorite Disney villain? I like Maleficent.
You should buy me a new weapon because I keep disconnecting, so I
Okay.
never have any money.
Okay. I like Maleficent, though. Because she's just like... She's ate up. Like, I like a villain that's like... That's deliciously evil. A little fire thing.
I don't know, wouldn't that be like Cruella de Vil? More than Maleficent?
She was pretty bad, but she was also like disgusting, sort of.
Kinda,
so
yeah. Frickin' what's her face from The Emperor's New Groove? Was that Disney?
was it Yzma?
Something like
I think
that.
it was Yzma. She was alright. She was alright. That's why, like, if anybody out there's seen Reboot, Megabyte. Megabyte is like a villain's villain, man. Do I read any webcomics? I read XKCD. I read Captain SNES whenever it gets around to updating. I read yet another fantasy comic. Dr. McNinja. I don't know, I kind of come and go through some of them, and I'll, like, stop reading some for a little while when I realize that, like, I just kind of don't care anymore. Hexadecimal was a villain, though, man. To Itinerant Soldier mention in Hexadecimal, man, she was a lady. She was most certainly a lady. I'm awake. You can keep all the things, Rain. All yours.
Rain asked if maybe today y'all could do an awakening.
We can try.
Rain might just have enough SP for an awakening.
Did I ever read 8-Bit Theater? I did read 8-Bit Theater. Eight-Bit Theater was alright. I stopped reading it because it finished. Do I still happen to play Bunny Must Die from time to time? I haven't played it in a while. Honestly, I think the most recent time I played it was probably during, like, what was it, like the very first Frägment Friday? Or maybe the second or so? When all was said and done, I wanted to show people where the Unyu was from, so I booted up Bunny Must Die. And I figured, like, I'm just gonna blitz through, fight the first boss, I'm not even gonna collect the gears, so I gotta fight the first boss without turning around. I haven't played this game in, like, 3 years. It's gonna be great, and I'm gonna die a horrible, horrible death. And then I won. And I think it was Kuma who saw that at the time and said, I think it was Kuma that saw that at the time that said he thought, like, he was pretty sure I just embarrassed everyone with that. Just like, haven't played in 3 years, didn't collect the gears, beat the first boss. I really wish I had saved that, man. I wanted to upload that to YouTube. Because every now and then, I feel like I sort of need to remind people that I'm not horrible at video games.
Wasn't that the entirety of Megamari?
Megamari was indeed a thing. It was like Kuma, it may have been Kabuto, it was, I don't know, it was somebody whose name I recognized. It was like a regular. Tree! Okay, where do we want to go? We want to go south. Good evening, Mushmallow. Do I like tower defense games? Not especially. I don't especially have anything against tower defense games, but I've never really gone out of my way to play them. I don't know where I'm going. Where are we going? We're going this way? Speaking of YouTube, what are my thoughts on the whole advertising money thing? Not entirely sure. Could you narrow that down a little bit? I'd love to answer, but that's kind of a broad question. Is this game on the PC or the PS2? It is technically on PS2, but you can also emulate it. Have I ever played Final Fantasy IX? I have. I actually really enjoyed Final Fantasy IX. I mean, it had its give and take moments, but overall I think it was a positive experience. One of the better ones. Okay, we gotta go turn left here. Man, Rain is booking. Go, Bo. Quah.
Queh.
After Megamari, have I thought of trying another Mega Man clone? Not really. A lot of the reason I played Megamari is, for one, I'm a Toho fan. And I'm interested in looking at Toho fan games and things. I'm always looking for, like, really cool Toho fan games. And I've known about Megamari for a very long time, and I've seen a lot of videos and stuff on it, and it's like, I've always really thought that game was super cool. And it took Ogre dragging me through Mega Man 1 and 2 to get my confidence up to the point that I thought I could at least entertain the idea of beating Megamari. Have I ever wanted to play an instrument growing up? Not especially. I played drums in high school band, but that really didn't last very long before I just lost interest. I kind of wanted to do something musically, but then I kind of stopped caring. Did the two of us have a good Valentine's Day? I thought it was pretty alright.
It was alright.
We got donuts.
You were heart-shaped. And then I made cookies, and we had way too many sweets.
But they were heart-shaped donuts, and you finally got Dunkin' Donuts.
I know! I miss Dunkin'. Thank you.
Speaking of Toho fan games, have I tried the Labyrinth of Toho games? I have not, if only because, just from what I've read, is that they're very, very grind-heavy. And I don't know if I have it in me right now to devote to something that...
Oh man, Rain leveled up.
To devote time to something that extensive. Like that extensive and that repetitive. Anymore, it's just not the kind of game that would really dive into.
Y'all should do an awakening. Not on that guy, he's dead.
Okay, guys, you know what? We got 5 green things. Next large enemy. So, like, the next portal comes out that's got, like, a tree or something in it. Next large enemy. Let's do an awakening. I don't know which one of us should start. I don't think it especially matters. But, like, next large enemy, nobody attack. We'll do an awakening. Okay, so YouTube just released a statement saying that most in-recording advertisements were not allowed, and it just got scrolled off the top of the screen. I'm gonna put everybody to sleep. Don't do it. Ew. Getting stabbed by a crab. Crab stab. Okay, have I read about the Nintendo partnership? And if I did read something about it, what do I think of it? Do I agree with what they're doing? Do I think it's abusive, as some people describe? This is actually sort of a complicated topic. Because I've spoken on the topic before, and for the most part, what I gathered is every time I brought it up, I would generally have a fairly positive experience of it, and I would ask people to try to, just try to explain to me what's bad about it, what's wrong about this thing. And for the most part, what people cite is not anything wrong with this partnership, but with the idea of them taking the money in the first place. And I feel like that's misplacing their rage. Because, like, on one hand, like, I completely understand that people are upset that Nintendo doesn't let them monetize videos, like a lot of other companies do. I completely understand that. And taking that frustration and that anger out on that policy, I think makes the most sense to me. Whereas the more recent, like this more recent change, I don't think is a place to take out anger about the original policy. For the most part, what they've done here has just put everybody in a better state than they were in previously.
So apparently the thing with YouTube that Konakol was talking about was they're kind of cracking down on like the kind of stuff like those Audible sponsorships and like advertising in YouTube videos that isn't through YouTube's ad system.
I don't know how much I like that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't like advertisements, and I don't like it when people, like, try to shill stuff on us in video, but, like, that's their prerogative. And they're doing it on their own time. So, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
This statement says, or this article says, in other words, a text disclosure is fine, a product logo splashed on the screen is not, unless that brand buys media through YouTube. I think that's really weird.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. It's our frickin' videos. We can do what we want with them.
Yeah.
Okay. On the Nintendo thing though, I was perhaps a bit black and white when I discussed it previously on like Twitter, but oh man, we can do an awakening. Nobody attack.
Oh man.
Do the awakening. Do the thing.
Do you...
Skills, magic. Oh, we can't do any.
Why not?
We don't have the thing.
The thing?
We don't have any awakenings. I don't like it. I don't know if we just don't have any in common, or... Man! Yeah, I just don't know if we don't have any in common or what, but yeah, we couldn't do them. That's poo. But I was perhaps a bit black and white when I discussed the Nintendo thing previously, especially when I got into the discussion on Twitter. But I feel like for the most part, a lot of the frustration should be directed at the initial policy and not this particular change. However, I did hear a couple discussion points against this policy specifically, instead of just being frustration being taken out on this policy. Some of those notes I think had pretty fair points. One of them I think was the idea that since a lot of other companies do things, do just let you monetize videos, this could be seen as something that would, though that's what we would want Nintendo to eventually do, and just let us monetize freely, this could be seen as a step preventing that. Like, if they're going to kick into this, then they're probably not then going to eventually decide to just completely drop this entire thing and do the full monetization thing. So that's kind of a thing. And then the other argument was that this sets a standard. And what that standard would be, perhaps, is if most companies let us advertise freely, maybe this would set something up not just for Nintendo, but it would give an idea that a lot of other companies should do this instead of letting people advertise freely. And could impact, like, kind of the advertisement thing as a whole. And those are two pretty decent negatives to it.
One of the complaints that I heard was, I don't remember what the complaint was exactly, but it was dealing with the wording of the contract that you sign, and that conflicting with reviews of Nintendo products.
Yeah, now here's another issue, and here's another pretty major issue entirely, which is how how YouTube handles copyright, and how then, given how YouTube handles copyright, how other companies can use that to handle copyright on their own in a way that actually contradicts regular copyright law. And this is something that Nintendo has actually been guilty of to a degree. And again, this doesn't have anything to do with their current policy. This goes back to their original policy of nobody monetizes anything, period. Which is the idea of what qualifies as being copyright protected and what doesn't.
Well, I'm not talking about that. What I was talking about was they've got a clause, and I understand why they have this clause. They need this clause in their contract to protect their copyright. But it's that clause that's like, you can't produce anything that would harm the Nintendo brand. And of course they need that, because they need people to not claim that work as their own or make similar work that's very, that can be confused with a Nintendo product.
Well, and it's stuff like, stuff that can harm the Nintendo brand, such as painting them not just in a bad light, but like in a false light, actively saying something like libel and slander, like actively saying something to lie about them and say something bad, like Nintendo eats babies. And then, like, you get a whole bunch of people to believe that Nintendo eats babies. Like, no, it's like, no, we're not going to let you monetize that.
Yeah, I mean, they need to protect their brand and their image. So I understand why that clause exists, but it can be conflated as, like, you can't post a bad review. And I don't think that's the intention of that.
Yeah, I don't think, like, that's the intention of that. And I've seen, in pretty much every major contract like that, for, like, YouTube and stuff like that, that I've seen and signed, I've seen a clause like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's one actually, I think that's actually one kind of, I think that's one thing that's brought a lot to light about this, is they kind of made their contract public so everybody can see it. When typically when you sign on with a partnership program or anything like that, you generally only see that contract if you're actively in the process of signing on. So not a lot of people see that contract. So one thing they've done here is they've put this contract public so everybody can see it. And now everybody is judging what's written in this contract. When, to be honest, what's written in that contract is actually very standard stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I think even one person was disputing me over Twitter, saying that, like, oh, but the contract says this, and the contract says this, and pretty much everything I could say was like, every contract says that. That's not Nintendo being evil, that's, they all do that.
Nintendo needs the ad revenue to buy the babies they eat. I love you, Nintendo. Just keep on keeping on. I promise you don't eat babies.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Rain.
Oh.
Whoops, I'm bad. My bad.
You could just trade it to him.
I don't know what I grabbed. I wasn't paying attention.
There was something in there.
You want just a whole bunch of random items? I'll just give you a bunch of crap. I'm just gonna go back and sell it. What do I have? Did I pick up anything here worth crap? No. Here worth the crap?
Speed charm.
Not really. I could give you a grunty doll and, like, 3 pieces of equipment.
Isn't there only 3 things in a
You can't use any of this on Wavemaster, though, so he'd be selling it too.
Oh.
Ah, well, let's get the crap out of here.
You could give him that grunty doll.
I could.
He says don't worry about it, though.
Unknown area. Okay, we want this one.
Am I coming back? I don't know. Am I coming back?
Do you want to come back? Want to go run a dungeon?
I'm alright.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in a groove
Okay.
of not doing anything. I'm still here, though. I mean, I'm talking and stuff.
What do I feel about big name YouTubers that make a living off of YouTube? Like PewDiePie, I know, makes at least $1 million a year.
He's found something that works.
Yeah, you know what?
I wish it was that easy.
Yeah, I wish it was that easy for everybody, but you find your niche, jump in it, man. I'm not gonna knock a guy for doing what he figured out works.
I'm hungry.
Would I like to see a GU game like Frägment online with your own character? GU really wasn't designed well for like cooperative play.
Yeah.
Like the gameplay of GU was built around a single player RPG.
Yeah.
Even if like the setting is an MMO. So, I don't know how well that'd work. To be honest, I'm not as interested in the GU world anyway. Do I like the How to Train Your Dragon movies? I've not actually seen them.
I saw the first one and it was super cute. And I'm really sad that I didn't do the... I just didn't see the second one. What do I plan to do during this stream besides talking? Chill out. Mostly.
Take a minute to relax.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sell off a couple little things here. Dark, thunder, wood, fire, water, earth. Okay, we're good. Sell off that grunny doll. And body armor, long arm I can sell.
It has been a while since Unyu.
Yeah, the last one was at 8:45. It's been a good 25 minutes. Half an hour, even.
Oh man, Kuma's doing board games and stuff.
Oh man.
Have fun.
Have fun.
I didn't know there were How to Train Your Dragon books. I say as I yawn.
Okay. All sold off my stuff. Get going to places again. Other players are busy. Got it. Maybe it's something that I'll just make a Tumblr post about some point, but I've done a fair amount of thinking, and, like, I talked with, one guy at work. What? Okay. But, like, I was talking with one guy at work about, like, monetization on YouTube and copyright and all kinds of fun stuff. Ooh. Have a health drink. Oh man, look at what I got. That is, ooh. That is better. That is distinctly better. That is level 42. What I'm wearing is level 22. Well, that makes sense why it's better. Also gave me a hat that is similar to what I have. 47, mine's 37. 10 levels higher, but like the stats hardly change. Oh no, we got new. But I gotta scroll up. $1.01 in from Justice Duang Kaiser, who says, "Here's your money, you greedy maner." I mean, it was Kaiser, not me. It's Duang. Thank you. Also, I get Rip Sync. Here's Sleep Confusion Charm instead of Riptain. Eh. Meh. Why not? I'll go with that. Deluxe Boots. Oh, the Deluxe Boots are worse than what I have. Well, 42, and what I have is 73. When did I get those? Holy crap. Alright. But, like, maybe I'll just do a Tumblr post about it or something, but I got into a discussion with a friend at work about, like, copyright and monetization on YouTube and all that fun stuff, and I talked a lot about how gray the area is, and I think, and, like, kind of what should be done at this point. Because there's a lot of assumptions going on about, like, how good and bad different things are, but honestly, there's just, like, no real information out there about a lot of things. And I think the first thing we need to do is, like, straight up gather information. And there's a lot of variables that go into that, too, that I was also thinking about. So maybe I'll just make a Tumblr post about it instead of sitting here and talking for, like, the next half hour about it. Going places. Level 15 dark. You want to do level 15 dark? I don't know, I want to do another wood area. Level 15 wood. There we go, that works. Do I like the How to Train Your Dragon movie? Answered this one a moment ago, but I've not actually seen it. Barry thinks it was cute.
It was pretty cute.
Man, I was hoping for another dungeony area. Okay, where's the closest thing from here? We could head this way. Have I ever played Okage Shadow King on the PlayStation 2? I have. I actually think it's a really good game. I triggered a portal. I don't know where it was.
Oh no.
Nightwing! Shining Eyes, actually. I also can't hit him. I'm gonna go hit this sled dog instead. Oh, there's another guy coming.
Oh, no.
Ah, another Shining Eyes. He smacked me. It hurt.
Why would you do that?
Okay, so next up we're going this way next. Okage for eventual LP. I'd like to. Eventually, like, I have no idea when, but, like, eventually. Grass. Get back here. Ow. He stabbed me.
Oh no.
Sure you want to stand that close to him, Rain? Rain just ran up and started meleeing him. Have I ever seen Card Captor, like Card Captor Sakura? Or is it Card Captors? I don't know. There's a thing. When it was shown on TV many years ago... Oh no. Rain's up here getting wrecked.
Oh no.
What are you doing running off on your own? You're super low level for this area. This is a level 15 area. Okay, where am I? Where am I? Where are we going? We're going this way. When it was shown on TV years and years and years ago, I saw bits and pieces of it. But, I never saw enough to, like, really follow what was going on episode to episode. I guess what I saw of it was alright. Rain, what are you doing? You're gonna get killed. Yeah, it's nice that I encourage people like Pewds to follow their own way. It's troublesome when a couple of my old-fashioned thinking friends think they should all get real jobs. It's kind of hard for me to tell people to go get a real job when this is, like, YouTube and Frägment Friday and all of that is, like, 50% of my income. And if I didn't have that, I wouldn't have a... I'd be in a tough spot, for one. So, like, it's a real job to me. I certainly can't criticize somebody else for doing it when I'm doing it myself.
To be honest, I feel like any way that you make money that isn't illegal is a real job. Like, if you have found a way to gain income, like livable income, and it is not illegal, it's a real job.
Sounds good to me. Like, if you can get the money, and it lets you live, and it's not illegal, then you do what you do.
That's what I just said.
Yeah. I'm reiterating it to drive the point home.
Okay. Oh, I'm tired. I made a room.
I think to add to that, I would say in order to we've got the, like, real part down, that we think most everything is real, but I think it would also need to be a semi-consistent income, or it couldn't really be qualified as a job.
Well, that's why I said, like, livable.
But that's just semantics at this point. If I could go to any con possible, what con would I go to, and would I take Barry and or Ogre with me?
I am Barry, not Barry. Ah!
Wants to know if I want to take Barry from Game Grumps.
Leaving me behind.
Honestly, like any major gaming convention. Like, we went to,
We went to PAX East.
yeah, we went to PAX East once, and that was alright. I wouldn't want to go to one... I would want to go to one, like, more catered to everybody, instead of just being kind of a speaking panel for the big names. And I think PAX East did a pretty good job of that. But, like, I don't know enough about other cons to really...
Well, I know the company that I'm doing pixel art for is going to MomoCon, and I think that's kind of an all-purpose, like anime, video games, etc. I think... Yeah, this year MomoCon's doing something a little different, where they're actually having a little bit of a competition. And instead of, like, just having an indie games showcase, they're having, like, a little bit of a competition with a showcase. I think I'd want to go to a couple of more local conventions. Because I feel like, well, one, they're cheaper than going to PAX, and I don't have to bum rush the ticket ordering.
Well, I suppose the question being, like, if you could go to any of them. So, like, I'm not taking into account, like, how hard is it to get in, how expensive is it, how far do I have to travel.
Oh, if I could go to any... It's technically a conference, not a convention. But if I could go to anything, I would go to GDC. Because holy crap. I really want to attend GDC at some point. I don't think you'd particularly enjoy it.
And the next one is, like, so far away.
Because it's not
Yeah,
really...
it's game development.
Yeah.
So, I think mostly I just, like, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. I mean, I'd probably get some interesting bits of learning in here and there, but, like, I wouldn't be there to network or anything.
See, that's what I would be doing.
Yeah, I'd be mostly there to learn. And, like, I feel like I can only take so much learning.
You know, once I cosplayed as Risei Kujikawa, that ended poorly.
Okay, there's only one more portal, and it's like on the opposite corner of the map. So we just ran halfway there and got into a fight with a random group of nubs just kind of wandering around. I'm gonna run the rest of the way to get to this portal, and I triggered it already. And it's a chest!
Oh man.
Field portals all open!
Yeah, what would you do at GDC?
I'd learn as much as I could learn, but I don't know, I also feel like it's not exactly the place to teach. So
There are workshops. There's like a game dev boot camp. Which I've heard is pretty fun. But like honestly, I'd be there to network.
Any chance we'll see you over at TohoCon 2015? I doubt it. I don't know when it is. It's probably too far for me to go to. And to be honest, I would feel very awkward there. Because, like, I like Toho and all, but, like, I don't know if I like Toho enough to go to a convention of people talking about and doing nothing but Toho things.
There's a Twitch convention.
That's just awkward.
I know there are one or two local-ish smaller game conventions that I'd like to go to. I have to figure out... One of them, I think, is in like a month or something, or it just happened. I don't remember. But I'm pretty sure I missed like the submission deadline for showing a game there. Which kind of makes me sad, but like I didn't have anything to show a month ago anyway. TwitchCon? Is that the convention where everyone wears a gray face and gray mask and spams memes?
I think somebody mentioned me going to TohoCon would just bring back bad memories of the entire channel after Toho Mother. And probably. Like, I'm not exactly a social person, so I wouldn't want to go to... If I was going to go to a convention, I wouldn't want to go with the intention of being able to, like, talk it up with a bunch of people and just be excited alongside everybody else about things. Like, if I go to a convention or something, I'm there to see the sights. I'm there to, like, see new games being released that people are working on. Like, I think PAX East was super fun because we'd go, like, little booth to booth and see all the different games everybody was working on, and I thought that was all super cool. And then we could go to, like, the big meeting things and, like, actually see people talking about stuff, and, like, I thought that was all super cool stuff.
Yeah, I feel bad because I feel like I wasted a lot of my PAX East experience. Because I'm like super shy and introverted and I don't want to like talk to anyone or pitch myself to anyone. So like it was funny because at one point Lewis was in a panel. Like Lewis was listening to a panel and they had a Q&A at the end. And
I opened the chest.
This one person in the Q&A was like, so how do you like network with people? And then Lewis, standing right behind him about to ask a question, just goes like this and then hands him a business card. And I'm just like, Lewis, you sly bastard. Like, I don't have the guts for that.
That was alright, man. That was alright. I wish I could have been there to see that.
He said it was great because, like... He said it was great because like within a couple of minutes, like everyone was just handing business cards to one another, and everyone was just like super chummy and great. And I was like, I wanted to be there. That's like the perfect opportunity for me because I'm super shy and I need somebody else to break the ice for me. I'm so bad.
Dungeon portals all open. Really? This is only a 2-floor dungeon. How about that? Wow, yeah, this place is really short. All done. Let's see here. If Miss Naka was for some strange awesome reason, got into Smash, what would her tagline be and final Smash? I know what it would be. I don't know. Like, what do you mean tagline? Like, when do they say it?
Like a taunt?
Like, is it a taunt? Is it like a victory thing? Is it...
Is it that thing where they go, so-and-so has entered the battle?
I don't think I picked up much of anything in there. Yeah, I don't think I grabbed any items in that dungeon. So like
What
Mario
Barry just
jumps
said.
into battle.
Somebody says what Barry just says.
Okay, as far as like the Miss Naka entering the battle, I'd have to think on that one. I know her final smash would be Overdrive. And it would be... Wham, what are you doing? You just keep on keep on keeping on, Wham.
Oh, Wham!
You just keep on.
I hope he's not disconnecting.
No, I think he's just running into a wall.
I mean, that's what happens to me when I disconnect.
I'm doing it too.
Alright.
Okay, let's... Our final smash, though, would be Overdrive. Overdrive would involve... I'm not sure if it would count hitting just... I'm not sure if it would be a one enemy thing, or if it would be like a hit a bunch of people thing. Because typically Overdrive only hits one person. But the idea of Overdrive is that there's just... It involves a lot of really, really fast slashes. Inspired a little bit by... what's his name? Was it Juji? From Gungrave Overdose, when he took out Bungie. And like he did his... what were they even? I think they were called overdrives when you did them in that game. They were just cutscenes when you beat the boss, though. But, in that one, though, he would... you saw him just like you saw him you saw him like do like strike a pose sort of, and like a whole bunch of copies of himself went out, and then all these copies ran around and started slashing Bungie back and forth a crazy number of times. The idea of Miss Naka's overdrive is that she would be moving so frickin' fast that it would just look like there are multiple of her. It wouldn't be like actual copies. She's just booking. But it's the idea that she would start slashing a person over and over in almost the same way, but to the point that it wouldn't end with a kick, but what it would do is the slashes would eventually hit the person ever so slightly up in the air. Overdrive is actually done best against a shielded opponent. It's effectively a shield breaker. But you hit the opponent so many times that they actually start bouncing into the air, and the attack slowly becomes, instead of Naka like slashing back and forth, she begins jumping up, hitting the person, and either bouncing off or like slashing off, and then like having to hit the ground again. Mostly it works with bouncing off, like so you hit it so hard she flies back to the ground. $60 bloody and 1 cent in from Kibatu, who says, your obligatory message about inspiring others is in another inbox. I'm sorry. Though seriously, thank you for your time on YouTube and Twitch. Take my money and make more videos. Oh, and pizza. For pizza. Thank you very much, Kibatu. It is very much appreciated.
Thank you. Pizza will be the keyword, I suppose.
Alright, pizza it is. And currently, Kibatu, you're getting a free copy of Cubicity. So, we'll worry about that one later.
You remembered the name of that game. I didn't.
No, I looked.
Oh. Oh.
But, okay, the idea, though, is that, like, Miss Naka is, like, jumping up in the air and slashing it at the shield or person or something, bouncing off them, like, just from the reactive force of her slashing and hitting the ground, where she then jumps up and hits them again. So it kind of it starts as this, like, circle around the enemy, and then as the enemy gets, like, knocked higher and higher into the air, she's just kind of bouncing off the enemy over and over and over again, knocking them higher and higher and higher. And then the whole thing ends with her jumping kind of behind the enemy and above them and slashing down once as the final swing. But that's Miss Naka's overdrive. It works best against one enemy, specifically one shielded enemy, as a shield breaker. But, because the idea of it is that it just kind of overwhelms the shield. And that she pushes herself harder and harder and harder as the attack goes on, to hit harder and harder. Whoops.
Oh no! Quit that.
But yeah, that'd be it. Overdrive, by the way, has actually been an attack that I've had in mind since, honestly, since I played Disgaea 2. But it was originally an attack I gave to, Ethan Fox from Honeycomb of Life. And that was going to be his final attack in the, Dimensional Shift RPG I was working on, which also never came to be. But that was going to be the final attack that he did against the final boss. So... oh, they're both running. $1.06 in from Duang of Just Carrot. It's like $60.01, but in reverse. Kinda. But I will be very disappointed if Smash Naka's tagline isn't Naka takes Elemental Ogre, and the final isn't President Naka swearing into presidency. Okay, I don't know if I want to jump into a 16. Let's go to a 15. We're going places. In fact, Miss Naka's overdrive is actually not an attack that you would see her do until Welgaia 3, at which point the attack wouldn't actually be exactly as I described, as spoilers will happen by then that will change the attack. So, I'm not sure if I would put overdrive into another game or another scene prior to that one, but that's kind of the main idea of it, is there.
Gotta think of our tagline.
Hmm?
Gotta think of our tagline.
Yeah,
now.
I gotta think of a tagline, though. I don't know what it'd be. Gotta be a little dorky. Can't be, like, super cool and serious. It's gotta be a little dorky. Get back here. Back here, let me
Lenny's got
stab
it
you.
right.
Okay, what is it? That is very true. I'm working on it.
Naka the Honeywhite is going to show you what she's learned. Miss Naka does a thing! I like that one.
I do kind of like that one. That one's kind of alright. Hey, somebody leveled up. Oh, I gotta change my congratulations message to say, like, configurations. Totally gotta do it. I'll do it when we finish this dungeon if I remember. And I know this has been mentioned a lot before, but, like, I know darn well that I need to, like, really finish the first Welgaia game before I mess too much with the second one, and I need to finish that one before I mess too much with the final one. I know that full well. $10 in from Yggdrasil, who says, Unyu. I know full well that I need to do that, though, and I am working on Welgaia 1. I've actually done more work on Welgaia 1 in the recent months than I've done on it in a very long time.
It's because I'm here.
Sort of.
You know it to be true.
Sort of. The main reason I haven't worked on it this month, though, I would still be working on it, but the main reason I haven't been working on it this month is because I've been working on my entry for Magalex 2. Gonna be great. My level's gonna be a piece of crap. It's gonna be horrible. But it's gonna be great. Like, a lot of that, though, is I haven't done a lot in the way of very specific thinking into the future, like the future Welgaia games. Mostly it's that I've got the first game entirely planned out. So I can't really do more thinking on it. So when I get a free chance to think on stuff, I tend to think about, like, what if I want to do some cool crap with Miss Naka? I want to do cool crap with Miss Naka. And then that just kind of evolves into, hey, you know what? I got a really cool general idea for a game. And then I told Ogre about it. And Ogre came up with a lot more specific, like, story for Welgaia 2. I came up with almost nothing on Welgaia 2 and planned to do almost nothing on Welgaia 2, aside from the fact that I thought it'd be really cool if it was a randomly generated Metroidvania. That's it. Everything else for Welgaia 2 was Ogre. And then mostly from there, like, I figured, if we're gonna make a second game, I would want the second game to be something that feels fitting to end, like, the Welgaia saga as a whole, but I didn't especially feel like how Welgaia 2 ended was a fitting ending for all things Welgaia. And so I came up with how Well Gaia 3 will end. And that's it. That's pretty much all the thinking I've done on those games.
In other words, how you don't do game development.
Sort of, yeah. I haven't done a lot in the way of planning on them, though. I mean, like, if I get a cool idea, I'll kind of, like, chalk it down and set it aside for future reference, but for the most part, I'm honestly not really doing much with... God dang it! For the most part, I'm hardly touching the later games.
Apparently I'm just standing behind you, threatening you with a paper towel roll to work on Well Gaia.
I'm working on it!
You're working on it for like 2 weeks and then you get distracted with a new character or a contest or...
Well, it's Magalex 2, man! I've been
kidding.
waiting for this crap since
kidding.
Magalex 1.
Kidding. I know last time it happened, you said, next time this happens, I want to do this.
I know, I was super disappointed because, like, I completely missed it the first time.
It's okay, you're doing it now.
And honestly, it's your fault that I started designing Luciana.
What?
It's your fault.
How?
Because I saw you sprayding a whole bunch of little duders at one point, and I noticed that you had a really wide variety of skin tones and stuff, and I thought, why don't I have any darker skinned people in Well Gaia? All I got's white people.
That comes
and
from...
And thus Luciana began.
I mean, that comes from going into designing a cast of characters with the intention of doing that. Like, it's not like a, oh hey, I've got a bunch of white people. I should add other people that aren't white. I mean, I guess he could do that. And it's better to do that than just go, white people.
Yeah, and it's
But don't you blame that on me!
Well, it's just that idea that, like, I gotta do this, and then I thought, like, I should do that. And then I thought, oh. Okay.
Alright.
All things considered, though, like, the main characters that I've got designed thus far are generally varying shades of white. But I did also make clear in the kind of the Well Gaia world post that I spoke about that race in Well Gaia is different from how race is on Earth. Like, you can't think of... Oh man, oh my grandies. Like, you can't think of races in Well Gaia in terms of races on Earth. Like, oh, there's white people, but I've got to put Africans in, and I've got to take into account and put Indians in, and Asians, and all of that. Like, in general, in Well Gaia, there's genetically one race. But they do have varying skin tones. So most people look like they're all about from one race, but they do have a varying degree of skin tones. And the varying degree of skin tones generally is much more so determined by, like, the location the person was born and raised in, and what's led up to that. Like, people generally living near the equator will be darker in tone than people living further north and south.
ZeroXDev just says, I'm more for making characters just as characters. I don't even think about the diversity in the cast. I don't really think about it as much as I do. I just have, like...
It just comes a little more naturally, I feel.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, like, you've got a couple of different skin palettes.
Yeah.
Because you don't just want to use the same one for every person, because that's just gonna look boring and weird if you've got the exact same shade of skin on every person. And, like, that's kind of what I did too. I just have a much wider variety of those. So I'm not even really thinking about it. I'm just kind of going, I'll pick this skin. I haven't used this one before. Or, like, I haven't used this one in a while.
And I think for me, it's not so much that I'm, like, it's not so much that I'm designing a lot of white people. It's more so that I take heavy anime inspirations in, like, not only my art, but also in my, like, world building. Like, heavy, like, fantasy anime inspirations. Guess we should probably get out of here, since we lost... Yeah, we lost Rain.
Oh.
I guess we should probably get out of here, though.
Oh no.
This is a 4-floor dungeon. We're on floor 1, so we should probably just kind of probably just leave.
Rain!
Let's just leave. So, like, when I'm thinking of world building or character design or anything, I have heavy anime inspirations, which is that I don't design the characters and think with the intention of them being like white people. They're effectively, especially when I'm concerned, or when it's like fantasy anime kind of thing, it's more raceless. Like, obviously, if something is set in Japan, then yeah, they're all frickin' Japanese. But, like, you get stuff that takes place in outer space and, like, some far-off planet somewhere with just aliens and crap running around. That's what I think of.
I think some of it, too, spawns a little bit from... Because, depending on, like, the region you live in Japan, your skin's going to be a lot tanner. Like, there are very tan people in Japan, and I'm like, wait, you're Japanese? You almost look black. But I think a lot of it, too, spawns from, that manga is printed, and that it's going to take a lot more ink and thus a lot more work shading
Yeah.
to make a darker skinned character.
Hmm.
So that's probably some of that. Is that, like, yeah, they want to make a raceless, quote-unquote, character, but they can't exactly draw influence from tanner-skinned Japanese.
And
they've got to make them white because it's printed.
Well, and one thing you do notice is, in a lot of anime, there are actually varying skin shades. Despite that most people look approximately the same race. And this is even where you get people that have, like, straight-up really dark skin. Like, effectively, like, African levels of skin darkness, but they look just like everybody else otherwise.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you see that, and I think that's kind of the thing that I would go for with Well Gaia. And admittedly, kind of by default, I make people with paler skin, but I would really like, when I start fleshing it out and adding other characters in, to really mix that up some. And add in, like just a variety across the board. Sadly, there's not a lot more characters I can add to Well Gaia 1.
Who was Yuko? Was Yuko in Persona 3 the,
Persona 3?
Was she the gym girl, or was she Fuka's friend?
I think she was Fuka's friend.
Yeah, I think that person... Who was the gym girl? Who, like, really wanted kids with Minato?
Well, friend lady person had some sort of dark skin too.
Yeah. Well, someone was saying, wasn't she,
Maybe it was Jim.
Ganguro?
Maybe it was a gym person.
If it was Fuka's friend, how do you pronounce that? Ganguro?
Gongoro, yeah.
Yeah. Fuka's friend kind of had that style.
Yeah, Fuka's friend kind of had that style, but like...
Social Link Lady didn't.
Yeah, Gym Lady didn't. Gym Lady just kind of looked darker skin.
Yeah. Kaz, too.
Yeah, Kaz wasn't as dark, but he was a bit
He was a bit
darker.
darker. All the girls wanted kids with Minato. She was really overt about it, though.
Yeah, she wasn't joking around.
She
like,
moved fast.
Yeah, like, of all the ladies, that lady...
Sassy Nanako. Were they voiced by the same person? That's terrifying.
Mamoru. Wasn't Mamoru the The sports guy?
Star?
Yeah.
I like how they're all gym people.
Not Rise levels of fast, but fast.
Did Rise ever mention children, though?
Yeah, like, Yuko was straight up going, like...
What would our kids look like? Whoa, slow down.
Yeah, I don't even think you were officially dating yet, and she was like, I'd like kids someday. It's like they tell you up front, if you sign up with her, you're signing up for the long haul. Okay, I think we got time for like one more good dungeon, so let's try...
Whoa there, friend, you might need to slow down.
Okay, I don't want a 16. I get wrecked hard enough in 15s. 15 fire! I still have trouble wrapping my head around mobile consoles being honest consoles. I mean, they're so small, they must be weakly powered, small screen, must be impossible to see, etc., etc. Truth be told, I'm not a huge, like, handheld console gamer myself, be it either proper handheld or, like, mobile consoles. I'm not a huge gamer in that regard, even myself. But there are still some interesting games on them, but you do have to think of them in kind of a different way than you think of a regular game. Like, on one hand, they will most certainly be weaker powered. Let's just go to the dungeon, guys. We just cleared out a field. They will be weaker powered than, like, a proper console or a PC or anything, but at the same time, we played NES games and Super Nintendo games back in the day, and frickin' your phone is 100 times more powerful than a Super Nintendo, easy.
Yeah.
So,
think,
like how powerful the system is doesn't really matter so much as what you do with it.
Yeah. Some of the best games that I've seen on mobile really leverage the touch mechanic. I feel like
you have to use it well, though, not
Yeah.
just like, hey, we got a whole bunch of touch stuff in here.
And I'm talking about, like, Monument Valley felt really tactile. It was sort of a, like a non-Euclidean puzzle shape manipulation, like perspective kind of game.
Okay, real quick. Kabuto wants to know if I have time for some sage advice. When you finish up, you go ahead and I'll do what I can. And also, one guy's been asking me what my thoughts are on Lucky Star for a very long time, so I'll also get to that. Go ahead.
Okay. But because this game was on mobile, when you turned all of these shapes around, it felt super tactile, and it was really nice on mobile. Really, that's all I needed to say.
Okay.
So, thanks.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know how long it was going to be, but I wanted to make sure I didn't, like, miss those. What's my opinion on Lucky Star? I've not seen a huge amount of Lucky Star, but I've seen enough to know that I liked what I saw.
It was interesting. Everything in that anime is a euphemism.
Like, I liked that it was a slice of life anime, but like a Seinfeld-like slice of life anime. Just like a straight-up, so what's the deal? What's the deal with airplane tickets?
What's the deal with chocolate cornets? Do you eat the top or do you eat the bottom? It looks like a caterpillar, but which side is the head?
Like, so
Actual episode.
Legit, too, I've seen that one. Like, so I like Lucky Star, though. Like, I like Lucky Star. I remember those little, like, a little, like, meme for a little while was the, what I watched, oh wait, I'm not confirming, like, what I watched, what I expected, what I got. and it was like what I watched, and it showed like the Lucky Star logo or whatever. Then like what I expected, and it's just a whole bunch of like super girly, goofy, like moe kawaii like anime crap kind of thing. Like a whole bunch of pictures of like silly stuff like that, and then the what I got Seinfeld logo.
Somebody had a sage advice request. Or was
Yes,
that?
Kabuto had some. Kabuto was requesting some sage advice. How can I help? Oh, that's one. There's a friend that has been quite angry lately, having a hard time being happy out of the rut he seems to have placed himself into, finding a way to be sad and angry and the like. I've been talking to this friend for some time, and sometimes I feel like it's becoming more impossible to help him when at some point my friend is just not listening. You happen to know a way to calm someone down and or make them feel a bit better if they get this angry and upset at me and or others. So the problem is the friend, it just has this anger and such built up in them, and they're kind of just letting it out on everyone.
I feel like it's a lot less likely that they're finding reasons to be angry, and more that they're either through like depression or something, they're just very dissatisfied and can't figure out a way to express it.
Yeah, and I can see like finding ways to be angry as a way for something to feel and seem something is going. When someone just like gets angry over little things, and you wonder like, why should that person get angry over that?
Yeah.
And they're just angry all the time. It's like they're looking for a reason to be angry about something. And usually I shouldn't even say usually, like people aren't just that angry all the time. There's something going on, be it like depression, or something is just going really weird in or really wrong in their lives, that like say a loved one died, or they're just angry about that, or contemplating life decisions, or just there could be a lot of things that could lead up to it.
Even just as much as like, I mean, they said something like about the rut that they seem to have placed himself into, but I think it's easy to feel to yourself like you haven't placed yourself into a rut. It's just really hard to move on from where you are in life right now, and sometimes it is because you're placing yourself there, but sometimes it is just you're not in a good place, and it can be very hard to get out of there.
Yeah.
And I feel like instead of trying to combat that anger and like, you know, go like, you need to calm down or whatever, approaching that person with a more patient, like, listening
Yeah,
ear.
I think one of the most important things you can do is, instead of trying to, as you said, combat. $1 in from Master Spark, who says the warning was given, but the Yomu was bullied. Retributions are coming. The Light Warriors are moving. Sarda is doing the things. Your Chocobo's in peril. Sleep with eyes open.
What? Rain's dead.
Oh no.
You did that.
You killed Rain. How could you?
You killed Rain.
But I
You
think
killed
one
Rain
thing.
by looking away.
But I think one thing one important thing is what you said about, like, instead of combating and, like, fighting that anger, it's really important to acknowledge it. And acknowledge their emotions and the reason they're having these emotions. And be supportive of that. Like, let them know that what they're doing and even the emotions they're feeling aren't wrong. Like, let them feel like what they're doing is correct and healthy. Even if maybe it's not. But it's a way to be supportive of them and help them feel better about the state that they're in. It's like if you get really angry about something and you're screaming at something, do you want somebody to come up and go like... I mean, do you want somebody to run up and say, like, stop being angry about that, you shouldn't be angry about that, it's no big deal. No, you're ticked off about that. You're just gonna get angry at that person for telling you that. Like, if I get really ticked off at something, I want somebody to look at what I'm angry at as I'm getting angry about it, and when I say, like, how could this thing do this thing? I want somebody to come up and go, I know! And, like, I think one of the most important things you can do is learn, and instead of trying to combat the emotion, just be supportive of them and be supportive of their emotions, and try your best to learn everything you can about the situation and why they're feeling that way and what's leading to that.
Yeah, I would say,
Like, try to help them at the source instead of just combating the anger.
I would say, if at all possible, just in a calm moment when they're feeling all right, just ask them like, "Hey, has anything been going on that you feel like talking about, or that I could help with?"
Yeah, and if they don't feel like talking about something, they don't feel like talking about something.
Yeah, I was about to say that if they don't feel like. I think even small things like, you know, if they're in a rut, even small things like, hey, let's go to the movies today, or let's go take a walk today, or whatever, can help them slowly get out of that rut. If they feel up to doing an activity. It's really easy to say, like, oh, if there's anything you need, just ask me. But it's really hard for people to ask for that kind of help.
Yeah.
Even if you say, like, well, just ask me if you need help with anything. So then being very specific about, like, hey, do you want to go out today? Can get them to answer a lot more readily.
Yeah, as opposed to, like, because if you say, as you said, like, if you need anything, I'm here, they still have to take that first step.
Yeah.
And that's a rough thing to do. Like, one of the better things you could do is try to take that first step yourself. And just straight up offer or say as much as, like, hey, do you want to go do this?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, do you want to go do this thing?
Or, like, even like, hey, do you want me to do your dishes for you? Or something, if they've gotten to the point where they can't.
I've done the dishes for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Do what I can.
Mostly because I'm bad and I let them get stinky and then I gag.
And I bought you Taco Bell yesterday. Was that yesterday?
I think so.
Yeah, Thursday. Bought you Taco Bell yesterday. When it was, like, 4 below.
It wasn't that cold.
It was 4 below this morning. Got in the car, thermometer said it was 4 below. I started driving, and, like, as I was driving, I got to see the temperature in different places as I was going. And I'm really glad we don't live a little further north than where we were, because there was a point where it was 11 below. That's not wind chill either, because, like, it started going back up, too.
Lenny. No thanks.
See, the difference is you don't go outside and, like, just have to do things in 30 below. That would literally kill you.
No.
At, like,
thanks.
10 below, I'm, like, not a matter of me complaining because my fingers were cold. Like, at 10 below, I was, like, losing feeling in my fingers. You just don't do in 30 below. That's just horrid.
No.
And my dad was actually saying that, kind of neat how some things work, because, like, places like Montreal, when it gets like that cold out, just like almost move underground.
Ah, Lenny, that sounds like the worst thing ever.
Why would you do that?
Why?
Why would you do that? Why would you subject yourself to that?
Why?
Quit. Like, I don't know what you guys got. You guys must have some kind of, like, super fancy gloves or something. Because, heaven help me, I put 3 pairs of gloves on. And, like, a 20-minute drive to work in 5 below. And by the end, like, it's legit dangerous.
Yeah, how are Canadian clothes made? Because...
Well, and, like, the freezer at work. Like, that's only 15 below. But, like, how much we bundle up to go in there, and my hands especially. By the end of that, like, I have to leave. I just cannot stay in there for more than, like, 10, 15 minutes. And it's predominantly my hands. Like, it gets to the point where my hands hurt. Like, actively hurt, and I would start to lose feeling in them. Before I say, like, I have to go, or I'm going to be going to a hospital. As they try to get blood flow back into my fingers. So, like, I don't know what kind of gloves you guys have, but can you ship some down here? It's predominantly gloves, too. Like, pretty much everything else I can take for an amount of time. But, like, I need some good gloves. I don't know, Lenny, you're really arguing, you're really supporting the point that you're not even human.
Yeah, how do you not get frostbite?
Yeah, because, like, some of these things aren't even a matter of, like, well, we can man up and take it or get used to it over time. This is, like, legit health concern after a certain point. And then, like, later on, and then you're just kind of saying, like, oh, well, it's no big deal. You just kind of deal with that. Like, skin is skin, man. And it freezes at a certain temperature.
Marshmallow says, my mother was in Anchorage, Alaska one time, and it was so cold you had to wear masks outside because it would freeze snot and drool when it was still in your mouth.
That's cold.
That's cold!
That's really cold.
I don't care that your pockets are deep, Lenny. You're not human.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, man. You guys are putting up a pretty solid claim. You're mostly supporting the issue here. I'm gonna level up. And maple syrup gives them a plus 40 to cold resistance.
Give me some of that shit.
We gotta get more maple syrup.
Pure maple.
Pure maple.
None of that high fructose corn syrup crap.
Can you, like, ease yourself onto that, or is it an immediate buff? How long does the buff last?
know that it gets negative 100 something on Earth.
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. Like, if it got that cold anywhere, it would be, like, at the North Pole. Or South Pole. One of the poles. But, like, it's not gonna do that just anywhere.
I broke Twitter. No, Twitter. I don't want to retweet void space.
It's, like, you can say it's tolerance and climatization all day long, but, like, skin still freezes at a certain temperature. And there's nothing about getting used to temperature that's going to change that fact. Some family friends who live in Alaska who in the morning take their hot coffee, throw it outside, and it freezes before it hits the ground. Why do you people live in these places?
Also, ice physics. At negative 40, Celsius and Fahrenheit agree that it's stupid cold. Somebody wants to do a wood burning of one of your characters. And by wants to, I mean is asking permission.
Oh, well, crap, go for it, man. Don't gotta ask me credit for that, just show me when you're done. It's better than living in 100 plus in Southern California. I don't know, it's hit 100 plus here, and I can live that.
Yeah.
It's hot as crap, but, like, I can take it.
As long as it's not, like, deep south humidity, like Georgia humidity, I can deal with that. Georgia, by the way, where all of our dorm rooms were required to have dehumidifiers, otherwise mold would take over. Year-round, you had to run that thing. South Carolina's at least a little bit north of where I was, but it was pretty humid.
Getting rain all them levels.
And, like, humidity plus... There were days where I walked outside and I would breathe and I would go, I am eating water right now. That's how humid it is. I am eating water right now. But, like, that kind of humidity combined with, like, 100 plus degree heat, that would kill me. So there's this game jam going on called T-Cart 1K.
Okay. Well, real quick, it's getting really confusing in the chat because we've got people talking in Fahrenheit and Celsius, and nobody's being especially clear about which one. So we'll like constantly get like somebody going, it's like, this temperature isn't so bad, and I'm thinking like, crap, that's nothing. And so it's like, oh, it was in this one. Oh, well, in that case. So like, we got people from all over the world here, man. You gotta label your crap.
Anyway, there's this game jam going on called T-Cart 1K, and it uses a framework called ShareCart 1K, which is a thing. It is a way for your games to talk to each other and affect each other using a single shared save file that lives in a specific place. In other words, every game made for this game jam will use one save file, and that sounds like the most fantastic broken thing ever. And I want to do it, but I don't know this framework. And it's a 48-hour jam, that's not enough time to learn.
Wham, we can just teleport out.
Ugh.
I don't know where you want to go. There's not many places to go. Yay, we left. Well, I was going to use an item, but somebody else did. Do I prefer to talk in meters or in yards? Meters is the better system, but I say yards just because that's what we're familiar with.
Yeah.
What is the temperature of a vacuum? Depends on the vacuum.
Depends on whether or not it's on.
Depends on the vacuum, because the vacuum of space is actually, it's something like, people say like, oh, the vacuum of space is like absolute zero or something, and it's not.
Mm.
It's actually like, I mean, it's still frickin' freezing, but it's like, it's not absolute zero, even if there's nothing going on out there. I forget what it was, though. It was like, I think it was like, it's like 10 degrees above absolute zero or something.
Apparently I beat somebody to the vacuum joke.
Okay, it is 10:26. I think it's about time for us to call it for the evening. See if I have anybody for you guys to raid. Because it's getting late. Nah, I got nobody for you to raid. Unless... Let me check if, like... And check if, like, Kavino's streaming. Nah, I don't think he's streaming. Nah, don't got anybody for you to raid tonight. Alright, then. Sorry, folks. It's been a great night, though. Been a great time talking, chatting with everybody, having a good time. Thank you very much for everybody who came out. Thank you very much for everybody who's been here in the chat. Thank you to everybody who's playing alongside. Thank you very much to everybody who's been donating. Who was it? It was Kibatu, who donated $60.01. That had the high donation of the evening. He gets a keyword added to the server. He said, oh, and pizza at the end, so I'm going to add pizza. And he gets a free copy of Cubicity. So if you are in the chat right now, say something, and I will see what I can do about getting you that game. But to everybody else, take care and good night.
Good night.